Midday TV, spilling the tea, setting the trends.
What's up, guys? I go by the name Mr. Treaty, the only man who to class and style in Africa, and we are at AMREF International University, where there will be the exclusive masterclass hosted by Yora Summit, for an event hosted for filmmakers, actors, and actresses. What are you expecting from this event? In this event, you will be seeing a special appearance from Hollywood award-winning actor Peter Macon, also a special appearance from Jamaican artist Glen Washington. Stay tuned here on Midday TV as we follow up on the event.
Quickly, and then the rest of us, I'll call up on stage.
I was invited to come here to bring my experience and my input with creatives here. And I can say that 2 days ago, a group of us planned a film, and we shot it yesterday. So I'm also here to testify that things can happen when we have great minds at the table together. So I'm very happy to be here, and I have no idea what's going to happen this afternoon. So we'll find out.
Thank you. Now, because, round of applause please, encore. Okay, because one of the panelists has to leave for previous engagement, I'll quickly field some questions to him, and then the crowd is also allowed to field a couple more, but let's find out. So number one goes to Glen Washington. Glen, tell us, how or at what particular point in your life did you discover that you have this great, amazing talent? And how was it as you began? Was it easy? Was it hard? And how is it now?
At age 7, it was good. Raised by my grandma, getting good old African teaching. Discipline. Learned that I could sing at an early age and decided to move on it. Went to school. I wanted to be a policeman. But I was encouraged by my friends to enter into a talent competition. Go sing, you can sing. And I decided to try it, and it worked. So it changed my mind from being a teacher or a policeman to an entertainment. I've been doing that since 1972, and still going strong. Give you thanks for that. My story is a long one, it will take up all day. And I want to hear my friend talk.
All right. Okay. Let me move to Enos. I think we can field one more question to you, Glen. We'll come back to you. But let me move to Enos before we speak to Madam Dr. Lucy. But let me speak to Enos. Enos, you worked on a couple of movies. What's this one movie that you worked on that till now just makes you happy to have been part of? What is this one project that you worked on that until now you've been happy? Enos.
Not sure if I say all of them, I'll be correct, but I would say each and every movie that I've worked on either taught me something or introduced me to a new set of skills that I didn't have. The first ever movie that I did was Supermodel. Yeah. I see some of the actors, okay, now were part of it. Yeah, that was my very first movie, but getting into it, I was just getting into like shooting it and just hoping that it would go out and people love it. It went ahead to be shortlisted for the Oscars, and it kind of opened up new thinking and ways of how I approach movies. So every single movie that I did after that was always just targeted to a different set of experience and all that.
All right, and just quickly tell us before we get to the doctor about how do you visualize, because we have a saying in Africa, it says, until the lion learns how to write, all the stories of the hunt will glorify the hunter. Now, how do you start telling your stories? You know, do you have a bias? Are you telling it from Hollywood, or are you telling it from Africa? When you're shooting on that camera, on that red, and you're moving around, what are you seeing in your mind?
Sometimes it's very hard to explain creativity, yeah? And I think for everybody who's in the creative space, you're always expected every single day to come up with creative solutions, either if you have it or not. So having been a product of the Nairobi film sector, and of course even Hollywood, that's why I trained in LA, I always just approach it fast. Every single project that I have, our story is always a key, okay? At the end of the day, we need to tell stories. There are different styles and different ways of maybe how you approach, how you even tackle that particular aspect. But for me, I always believe, trust my gut first. Trust my experience, trust my taste, hoping that maybe my taste is better. And my taste, when I'm talking about my taste, is a taste in terms of choices of different things, wardrobe, cast, locations, and all that. And I think if you make your movie first by believing in yourself, you believe you like that particular movie, then I think you're in the right path in getting something that maybe somebody else will like.
Wonderful. Daktari, let me just come to you, and there's a big aspect of the creative economy that I would like us to speak to even after Glen leaves in a few minutes' time. But Daktari, speak to us about one of the things that is really, really affecting us in the creative economy, actors, script writers, those who are in movies and music, is mental health. And this is actually becoming a pandemic. We have lost a few of us. A few of us are deep in different vices like gambling, like alcohol abuse and everything. Just speak to us about that particular thing. And what's your perspective, especially the pressure we have as creatives? If you can, just from your perspective.
Okay, thank you for that question. In my view, I believe that in this world of creative arts, musicians, the others are, apart from musicians, I told you I'm really new. Actors.
Yes, painters. Just creative, just for us creative.
Name them. I know that there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. And most of you have very high hopes. You want to make a little money out of it. There's a lot of pressure to want to please your audience, to make them feel happy. But unfortunately, just like any other business, there are some ups and downs. And what happens is that as you struggle to earn, to make, to get many followers, to have many fans, there are times when whatever you produce is not received very well. And this can bring you down. And therefore, I believe that you experience quite a number of challenges that can lead you into some bad feelings about who you are, about what you want to achieve in life. And because of all this, then you have to look for a way of coping. But unfortunately, many people would look out for the other ways of coping, such as use of substances, narcotics, use of unhealthy habits like alcohol, and of course, young people also love to engage in careless sexual activities.
Sorry. Are you saying that sex is actually also a way of coping?
Unhealthy way of coping, and particularly unprotected sex. And this now can draw you into health issues, developing health issues. And that is what actually makes a lot of people in this world of creative arts to get mental health challenges.
All right, thank you. Glen, probably on the stage you, I think 40 years or 40 albums.
You're saying how do I...
How do you cope with stress?
Oh, I just trust in the voice that's talking within me, talking about the Almighty. Just trust and hope and praying that he would help me. Because I got a wife. And you know about that stress. Yes. But she helps me a lot too. Sometimes it seems like the world is falling down. But you know, there's a positive feeling, a positive vibe that you have to hold on to, deal with it on a certain level. You have to come from 1 to 10 and decide, okay, that was then, this is now, I'm going to deal with it on that level. And it works for me.
But let me ask you, Glenn, you were at the top, you're Grammy nominated, you've won numerous awards, yes. You have more than 40 albums under your belt, you perform to crowds. You also feel sometimes a bit low. Who would think you have everything?
And I think the truth, I'm actually a shy person. I'm actually very shy. Most people don't believe I'm shy. But when I'm on the stage, something takes over and I'm in control.
Wow. Who would have thought? Who would have thought in 1,000 years? You know? Let's go to Peter. Peter, speak to us about your first experience on stage. Actually, I'd like to know your first movie or production that you did that actually got you to a place where you're like, well, I might actually be on my way to being a star. And how do you cope with this thing that we just spoke about, where you're at the top, but you're also fighting your own demons? You know, how do you do that?
Well, first of all, let me say, I don't believe that there is such thing as the top. I think it's a journey, and it's about the process, and you can have very high highs and very low lows. And so I try to maintain a space that is pretty even. So when really great things happen to me, I am grateful, and I'm very appreciative and happy. And when things that don't feel great happen to me, I also try to be grateful and appreciative of the lessons that are there to be learned. So this idea of trying to get to the top, I don't believe in it. I believe in, there's always room for growth. Any martial arts master, anybody who is a master of anything will tell you that there's always more to learn. So I'm a perpetual student, and I've gotten better at balancing stress, in that I realize that as long as I stay in a space, in a lane of inspiration, and because I absolutely love what I do, and if I just stay in that space, eventually things happen whether I want them to happen or not. So that is that. But in terms of when I realized that what I was doing had some value or meaning, I think I was in a production at my high school, and we were doing a production of The Wiz, exactly. And we made this play, and we were able to raise a lot of money for the community, for the school, to help pay for people who were, janitors and lunch. So we were able to raise money, and I realized we were bringing a lot of joy and laughter to the audience, and I realized that the power of what we were doing up here was making people feel good, and we were actually able to be useful. So I thought, well, this is something that I want to be a part of.
All right, let's take a pause there. We'll be back. We want to find out more about you, and we want you to teach us some things today. Because Glen has to leave for a prayer interview, I just want my big brother to, come here, big brother. This guy has done this festivals and successful ones for more than 40 years. Now, I just want to find out from him, in a field whereby we are liars, we are conmen, it's just jokes and everything, how do you manage to stay true? Because you have an option of just being a thug. But what is it that drives you to just do the right thing? This is Papa Biggie of Shashamane International, one of the original reggae fathers of Kenya. And he's the father to all these reggae DJs you see here in Kenya, for real.
Greeting to each and everyone. My name is Papa Benge. As he said, well, to answer my question, to promote a reggae, promote a show is not an easy task, So you just have to be true to yourself. Because, you have a lot of people who they promise you something and then you don't deliver. So my thing is just, I believe that if I promise the fan I'm going to do something, I gotta stick to it and do it, So you just have to be true to yourself.
I only made, one of them was my idea, okay? So what I can only say is change approach. Get to what they want at the moment first, and now when you gain their trust now, then maybe slightly here, then you can try and pitch your show. About getting good collaborators it's a hard one, but yes, it's a hard one. Personally, I'm very big with training. Okay, I'm very big with sharing knowledge. I do that a lot with Canon and a couple of other companies where I just go. Even for Safaricom, I was with them for about 2 years, just going all over the country, teaching people based on what I know. And even my team that I have around me, most of them are product of that, where they came and I taught them what I knew, and some of them came and ran away with that. So now when I get to new projects that I'm doing, I don't need to struggle about maybe trying to look for collaborators and all that, because I've already created a family that already will work together and all that. So that's what I can suggest. Get the people, you have the knowledge, get the people that you can, even if it's your sister, your brother, or whoever, teach them. I think share that knowledge. Then it becomes easier now when you're doing stuff and you have people who are a little bit skilled or even skilled for that particular work, and it makes it easy.
It's the beautiful nepotism. Yeah, because everybody that I know that I've worked with, they have their teams. Whether it's stage or film or TV, or they have their lighting designer that they always work with, they have their sound designer that they always work with, they have their DP that they always work with, they have their editor that they always work with, they have the casting director they always work with. So you have the makings of your production company, because people don't want to waste time. They only work with because time is money, and they only want to deal. They don't want to take any risks. Meaning I don't want to try this new person and they mess up my whole thing because they weren't vetted or whatever. You move almost like a crew. You know what I mean? Everybody that I know that's Oliver Stone, Seth MacFarlane, Liesl Tommy, who's the director, she does stage and screen, she's from Cape Town. Same for years, because you have working vocabulary with these people and you want to get it done. So we're in this building phase now, which is I feel like we're all have in here now, the makings, the ground levels of production companies and people that you know and you work with and you trust from this level. So when you blow up 10, 15 years from now, or 10 years, 5 years, you know that you're doing business with people who you can trust, and that's so important.
Maybe, sorry, just last me to add just to that. Sorry, Brian. And I see a lot of familiar faces here. I've done a lot of even free work, and also helped a lot of people. Anytime somebody has something and they come to me, I'm always the first one to try and help out, in any way that I can, even if it's giving out my gears and my equipment and all that. And I believe we should do that, because now when it reaches a point where you need people, it becomes easier because you've given them like they owe you favors and all that, and it becomes easier for that. So just, I think, insert yourself. If you see anything, I'm always seeing something happening, and I'm inserting myself in that. I'm like, we'll do the grading for you. We can give you maybe one equipment and all that, because I know the industry is very small, and later on we just need each other. So let's just work together and collaborate.
Hi, I am Brian Fura. My question goes to Peter. As an actor, and I think most actors in
She wasn't very good with being overwhelmed with bill collectors, and that has to do with some mental health things and feeling like the walls are closing in around her. So that's when I say she threw the bills, because the bills just kept coming, and she just put them in the trash bag, and you'd open up the bag, just a bag of, and they were calling and stuff like that. So that had more to do with her coping skills and mechanisms, but because when I got a job making, I don't know, like $100 every 2 weeks, she was like, my first paycheck, and I was like, oh, look how much. She's like, I'm gonna need 30% of that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, food's not free, electricity's not free, none of this is free. So when I say I didn't learn financial literacy, it was to that point. I did learn some things from her. It's not that I learned nothing, but with my boys, because we all want to. I want to break generational cycles of dysfunction, right? I want my children to have better than I had, and so far so good. However, the level of entitlement that comes along with that, I'm a softie, and my children, they're very smart, bright, so I want to empower them and set them up for success. So they've had, but they're young, you know what I mean? So it's balancing out. So I teach them, long story short, responsibility for their things, you know what I mean? Like their chores and being responsible. Like you don't get to be an asshole. You can't, you know what I mean? Because you have, and I let them understand. You see that person out there begging for money? They don't have. So when you're complaining about what you don't have, let's remember that person out the street that sleep with their children who don't have anything. So they're bringing their awareness constantly, so that they're not. I want them to be comfortable. Don't get me wrong, but I also don't want them to be unaware of their privilege and unaware of how good they do have it. So we go, we do things, we volunteer, we do things, just to keep them in, to let them know, and then I let them earn money. You know what I mean? I make them not just by doing household things, but we do things together. I have to actively try to create projects for them so they can understand money. Because they don't understand money. Like my 3-year-old ordered, when he was 3, he figured out he's smart enough to order $600 worth of Amazon stuff for Christmas. I'm not even mad at you, because that was kind of amazing that you did it. We returned it all. And the thing that he ordered sat there unopened for weeks before we sent it back, just so he could realize, because he didn't really know what he was doing. I was like, I wouldn't be able to do that when I was 3, but nonetheless. So yeah, it's about understanding what I did get, and also teaching them the value of understanding privilege and making them work for things, that they don't just automatically get things, they have to work for it.
What I'm trying to say is you need motivation, okay? If your motivation is your wife, your husband, your kids, your friends, your neighbors, you need that fire to help you do the things that you're doing, okay? I think this life is very short, for us to do something that we do not love, I am a student I went to University of Nairobi. I did BCom, Bachelor in Commerce, and majored in marketing, but 90% of what I do for my career is filmmaking, because that's what I'm passionate with. Sometimes I feel that life is too short to do something that I'm not happy with, okay? We always talk about money and all of these things, but you individually, what is that thing that drives your passion? But if you feel it's that front office, if it's the modeling, if it's the office work, whichever that you do something that you love, And I think that really guide what you're saying.
And I just want, and after this I'm done, like someone asked me about criticism, right? Like people, I don't read reviews anymore because it hurts my feelings because I'm trying to do my best and I want to do my best. And when somebody has an opinion, everybody has to go to the outhouse. You know what I'm saying? Everyone poops. Everyone has an opinion about everything. It's none of my business. What you think about my work, I don't care. I do my work and that's it. You know what I mean? I'm not swayed by like public opinion. That's not gonna stop me from doing my work. I don't care what you think about my work. I don't care if you're a critic. I don't care. It's not my job to care. I do not care. Think what you want. God bless. You know what I mean? But like, it's not gonna stop me from doing what I have to do. I think that, and then.
Yeah, I think before she comes in, one of the things, especially for those of you who do you have any marketing guys here? Marketing? Well guys, I do strategy. And one of the things is this, is when I get inspired, I start writing a strategic direction. I don't have a client yet. I just start writing. For example, these masterclasses will go on until we get old. You know why? Because I wrote them 2 years ago. I know the format, I know how we'll get people, I know how we'll run them, I know the platforms we'll use, I already know everything. It's the same thing we'll do tomorrow in town. Now, I wrote the concept in 2018 called the shootout, where we'll send young people to town to take pictures and videos of Nairobi in a way that people have never seen. And then all that will be put on a platform and the government or the county can use it to market Nairobi. Now, tomorrow when we go to town, that is exactly what's happening. So if anybody of you asks me, oh, what shall we do? I already thought about it long time ago. It doesn't mean that now I'm inspired to write. Sometimes I sit in my laptop and I'm like, like I download anything. But the time that I have juice, I run and I write proposals. I can tell you endless proposals, some which my people have taken and run with it and made something big out of it. All right? So there's always a God idea and a good idea. A God idea is unique to you. God gives it to you. Nobody else knows about it. But a God idea is bound by time. If you don't do it, God will give it to somebody else. And then you'll be the one saying, imagine I thought about this. This movie, I thought about it. And then there's a good idea. A good idea is what all of us have. Everybody has, and it's nothing new or unique. Lucy, you can take it away before.
Yeah, I do want to add.
Midday TV, spilling the tea, setting the trends.